Hello and welcome to Handmade Originals. Normally this YouTube channel is for demonstrating how to make things or showing you new inventions, but at the moment I'm building myself a new studio and I'm using IKEA kitchen base units to do that, and this is what you need to know about these units. This is the back of a 60cm kitchen sink unit which I've cut off, and I just want to show you something. So these units are designed very cleverly so that all the pipework goes underneath and then comes up like this. So your kitchen sink will be up here somewhere. Obviously this is the floor for these purposes, this surface. And your pipes will come under your units, behind the plinth. You won't see them at all, and they just come up through the cupboard, through this gap, which you can see here, which is pre-cut, and that's lovely. And if in fact you have that sort of pipework, or you're going to put that sort of pipework in at ground level underneath the base unit, and this is about 8 centimetres high, so you do actually have room, as long as you don't have too long a run, because you've got to have, with the waste, it's got to be running down at an angle to the drain. If you've got all that, you don't need to watch the rest of this video because these units will be perfect for you. If, however, like me, your pipework is coming in all over the place, like this, and I have, this is my cold water pipe coming down here, and this runs along here. I've got a hot water pipe coming from over there, coming round, and my waste does the same journey in reverse, which goes down the back here, along and there, and all above the base unit height. So it will all come in at about this height. So a bit disastrous because it can't go underneath. And the point about all of this is IKEA base units have no space at the back to accommodate those pipes. So if you're not going underneath, you have to create your own space somehow. And this is how I have done it. And this is how you might consider doing it yourself. So I'm going to just pull the worktop out. And I hope you can see that what I've done here is these two units I've pulled forwards so that there's about 10 centimetres behind them, which is plenty to accommodate all of those pipes going along there. The problem with pulling it forward though, and this is where it gets a bit like whack-a-mole, is you solve one problem and then you create others. You can pull it forwards so that you can accommodate the pipes, but firstly your worktop will not then be deep enough, because if you've got 60cm units underneath, your worktop is to accommodate a 60cm unit, and you'll therefore have a gap like that at the back. So either you'll have to fill that in with something, or get a bigger, perhaps bespoke worktop, so that it covers the whole 60cm plus the gap. The other problem, and particularly for me, because this is quite a small room, is that if you've got a 60cm unit and then you've got a gap at the back, even if you've solved your worktop problem, it then encroaches quite a lot into your room. So it's effectively 70 centimetres from the wall, which is quite a lot. And the third problem is that the IKEA system works on the basis that you have this metal bar that you screw to the wall, and then with each kitchen cabinet you hook it onto the bar, like that. That's like Tommy Cooper, like that. And of course, if your cabinets are standing 10 centimetres or whatever away and there's a gap, you can't then hook it onto that bar. So I haven't bothered putting the bar on since I'm not going to use it. And what I'm using are these brackets, which is, I'm calling it an L-shaped bracket, but it's not really an L. And in the back of each unit, where the hook would go so that it hangs onto the bar, I'm putting the L-shaped bracket through there, screwing this part to the wall, and this part, I don't know if you can see, there's a part here which screws to the wall, and then a part here which you can screw to the inside of the cabinet. You can do that on both sides of the cabinet on the inside, and that will make it completely secure. So that is one way of doing it. I actually chose to do it a different way because I didn't want my 60 centimetre units plus an extra 10 at the back encroaching that much into the room, because 60 centimetre units are quite big already, and this is only going to be a little studio. I've used units which I didn't know existed, which are only 37 centimetres deep, and these are also IKEA. So I can bring them out 10 centimetres, which makes them 47 centimetres deep, and then what I've done is I've used my normal 60 centimetre worktop and cut all along the back here, so that it comes to, let's think, so that's 37, 47 and a bit here, so it's about 50 centimetres deep, and it fits beautifully. And so actually I now have a very neat set of units which don't encroach too much into the room, and the worktop fits beautifully. And I have to say I am ridiculously proud of cutting that edge. I'd have to also confess I didn't do it myself, I had a friend do it, thank you very much Lou, but we've worked out a way of doing it so that it doesn't splinter, and I'll show you that in another video, but it's just a work of art, I love it. Anyway, so another way of dealing with this problem, if you don't want to have that extra gap at the back, is just taking this bit I've cut off. So don't forget, this is the back of a cupboard which has been cut off. So what you can do obviously is cut here, take this back piece out, this is the back panel, and then just cut here whatever holes you need to accommodate the pipes, and you'll see this very untidy way in which I've done it in my unit. If you cut to accommodate the pipes, you can then push your 60 centimetre units, and I do appreciate that if you're making a kitchen you need it to be 60 centimetres because you've got to accommodate the hob, an oven, a bigger size sink. Now if you do that, then this will go all the way back to the wall, so you can put your piece of metal along that IKEA provide and hang your units on that, and you can also get your worktop, which is 60 centimetres, to fit. But, and I told you this was whack-a-mole, IKEA, because they expect all the pipework to go underneath and they don't leave a gap at the back, also don't leave a gap at the back of the drawers. So I've just marked on here, which I hope you can see. This is where the drawer comes to. So supposing this is the drawer, it closes there. So you've got a tiny gap at the back, which is insufficient for your pipes. Your pipe will come out, and don't forget you have to include the clip. The pipe will come out to about there. So your drawer will snag on the pipe and will stick out by about that much, which is about a centimetre I guess, at the front. Now that may be a style feature that some of you like. Me, I don't like it so much. So my solution to that problem is use drawers which are smaller, because I've got a drawer here. If someone says to you they can cut a drawer down, I really would take issue with that, because if you cut here, this is the mechanism for levelling the front of the drawer, which you'll break, and here is a clip. If you cut here, that's the clip which holds this back panel on. So I think you would be better off putting shallower drawers in. So even though you have your 60 centimetre units, put in drawers, the 37 centimetre drawers, and then you will have quite a gap at the back, but at least you've got drawers that are usable. Alternatively, use them as just cupboards. Personally, I don't like cupboards. Ever since when we moved the kitchen into the back and we emptied this kitchen, I discovered a tin in the back of a cupboard that was older than my daughter. It was a shaming moment. She's 23. Anyway, so you could use them as cupboards. Not my choice, but you may want to do that. Or you can use these shallower drawers, or you can return these drawers and just get a different drawer system that is deeper than 37, but not so deep that it won't accommodate that pipe that comes to about there. Anyway, I leave that to you to sort out what you want to do. What I've done on this third unit is something different again. Let me just show you that to give you yet more ideas. I think I said at the beginning, my pipework goes, there's going to be a sink here, and my pipework runs all the way along here and along this wall as well. So the units finish here, and I have a gap of about that, so it's about another 10 centimetres here. It's not quite that much actually. So what I've done with the worktop is I've shunted it all that way so that this gap is covered, and at this end, just fortuitously, it lines up perfectly with the side of this cupboard. If this one was also a 37 unit, it would finish here and I would have a gap at the back. So what I've done with this cupboard is I've actually got a 60 centimetre deep cupboard, and I've cut the back off it, which is why I've got that extra piece, so that this then hides that gap at the back. So this acts, the side of the cupboard acts as a side panel, but without taking up space underneath the worktop. And it also lines up beautifully with the other cupboard, so it looks like it's one complete unit. The only problem with doing that, yet more whack-a-mole, is that if you cut the back off the cupboard to do something like that, the back of the cupboard is where the feet are. So I've cut these off, so strictly there would be no feet on the back of this cupboard, which makes it very unstable and not desirable. So what I've done is I've got more feet, and normally under the IKEA cabinets they have pre-drilled holes, and you just, they come with this sort of platform bit, they have these sort of knobbly bits on them, and they just go into the holes, and then the legs go into that bit and the feet go onto the end. It's like that song. But the way to do it, if you've cut that off, is simply to shave off with a Stanley knife all of the knobbly bits, technical term, and you'll see, I hope, against the white background, it's actually got pre-drilled holes. And so what you do is just position it where you want, there, and screw up into the base of the, and then you've got four. Just do this quickly. Underneath, obviously not on top. So you've got those two can go there, but at the bottom underneath. And that's that. So this is my studio so far. I am absolutely thrilled with it. And although I've criticised one of the IKEA design features, I have to say I love IKEA. And one last thing I would say is a total alternative to all of this is, say it quietly, take it all back and get your cabinets from somewhere else that does have a surface gap. If you do want to take that option, or if you want to change your drawers from 60 centimetre drawers to 37 centimetre drawers, don't do what I did here, which is sort of get so excited you rip the box open and it's a bit difficult to put back together. IKEA have an amazing return policy, which is that they give you 365 days to return anything you're not happy with, provided that it is in the original packaging. So don't do this, don't do what I do. Keep your packaging intact, and if something is quite complicated in the box, take a photo of it so that it's easier for you to then repackage it. Take it back, change it, and get your money back. I hope this has been informative and useful for you. It has certainly been a bit of a brain teaser for me. I shall be back shortly and I'll show you how I tackled, with a bit of help from friend, thank you Lou, cutting the back of this worktop in such a perfect and smooth way. See you soon.